So I love the idea that I control my reality. I love the idea that I am the great creator of everything that happens in my life. But is that true? Is that really true? I think that there is a lot of truth to it, but there's also some things lacking in that theory. I think that we have control over the way that we manage and navigate the things that happen. I think sometimes things happen that we couldn't have possibly been able to predict. Maybe some people can, not me. Um, so today I want to talk about safety and security from Abraham Maslow's theory of self-actualization through the hierarchy of needs. And through that, what we learn is that safety and security from within comes by way of self-trust, knowing that you're capable, knowing that you can rely on yourself to make good, solid decisions. And then no matter what the outcome or consequences, that you stand by them because it was your choice. Now, it wasn't necessarily your choice of whatever happened to you in life, but it becomes your choice of how to navigate that. So, what can we do to create that level of self trust where no matter what decision we make and no matter what the outcome of that decision, you stand by it and you say, that was my choice, even if it didn't go the way I wanted it to. I did it by way of my own choice of what I felt was best at that time. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I want to get into that. So, Abraham Maslow's theory about safety and security, he's really talking about the way that we connect with the external world. So, safety and security in the way of how we make our money, how we feel safe in our environment, and just overall what our foundation looks like. So, the stronger foundation that we have, the more capable we feel in taking risks in the world. But we have to have that foundation within first. So if we have that foundation, let's just say you have a strong financial foundation. Yes, you feel like you can take more financial risks, maybe other kinds of risks as well. But do you trust yourself? Or are you turning to others to tell you what to do? So we want to be able to trust our own authority so that no matter what situation we're in, we know that our choice is our own and we can get advice and suggestions from others to incorporate it into our own self and authority and consider different aspects and perceptions of how to navigate a situation. But ultimately, we can take full responsibility for whatever choices we make so that there's nobody else to blame, but you're not even blaming yourself anymore. You're releasing that because when you fully back up yourself, there is no blame or shame. There's only, I did what I felt was right at that time. So, how do you do that? How do you build that level of self trust? Well, it comes by way of prioritizing what is important to you. What are your boundaries around? What are you protecting? What are you choosing to protect? So, let's say in this case, you are choosing to protect your self trust. You are choosing to protect your own authority. You are choosing that that is what's important to you. That no matter what, You trust yourself. And this is not that you don't trust anybody else. That's not what this is. This is though knowing that whoever else you choose to trust is because you trust yourself. And so then there's a stronger connection between you and others because that trust first was established within. So first, you have to get clear on what it is that you're building. So in this case, we're talking about self-trust. Now, how do you protect that? How do you prioritize that? Well, the first thing that you have to do is know that you're capable. But how do you know that you're capable? By doing it, by choosing. Really, you have to take step by step and you have to begin by choosing. The self-actualization process is all about choosing, making your own choices and standing beside them. And whatever happens, you know that you've gained something, whether it be wisdom, whether it be maybe even a good outcome. A lot of times it is. If you're trusting yourself, it means you're leading yourself, you're guiding yourself. And in my opinion, there's nothing that bad that can come from that. There's only gain that comes from that because there's no shame, there's no blame, there's only wisdom. So you have to first choose that your self-trust is what's important to you. And so when a situation comes up, let's say something that creates uncertainty or something you haven't navigated before, something new, by all means, yeah, talk to others, hear them out, and then follow your own guidance. Feel into how does each choice make you feel, regardless of the outcome? How do you feel in the choice? Sometimes it's hard to know that. So you have to get quiet with yourself. You have to take time. You have to be deliberate about it. The more you choose to get quiet with yourself and listen to your own guidance, the more natural it becomes. So that happens on the spot rather than having to maybe isolate yourself for a short amount of time. So in the beginning, a lot of times you might have to go and really sit in silence and stillness. If you've been around a lot of noise and chaos, it can be hard to know what your inner guidance is saying. You may not even know that voice. So in the beginning, you'll have to go somewhere quiet and still and just really just let yourself be for a little bit. You don't have to rehearse the question or anything like that. Just fill into yourself. And then as you're ready, see how you feel about the options. Write them out and fill into them. And as you feel the responses that come up from within, then you'll begin to know what feels right for you. The more you do that, the more self-trust you're building within yourself, and it will become natural. And you'll know how to guide yourself, and you'll know those feelings. And so that there's not so much lapse time to make a quick decision if needed. And sometimes we have to make quick decisions. Sometimes we don't have time to sit back and get quiet and still. So the most important thing is to first get clear. Get clear on what you're prioritizing, what's valuable to you. Then decide how you're going to prioritize that. How much time and energy are you going to give to it? Because distractions will come up. It's inevitable, especially when you're trying something new or you're just changing pace. They'll become very loud and it'll be really easy to get off track if you have not prioritized. Because when you prioritize, it's like eating. Like, I have to eat at a certain time, or I have to uh, pay a bill a certain day. It's a priority, right? This is what we mean when we say priority. This is a priority. Like, there's no, oh, I might do this. No, no, you have to do this. It's a priority. So when you develop the mindset that it's a priority, it's a part of your foundation. It is a part of your day. Your day can't finish unless you've done this. You have to eat, you have to breathe, you have to shower. It's along that line. That's how important it is to you. To get very clear, it is a priority and put that in your mindset. That is an absolute priority. And where is that space for it? Is it when I first wake up? Is it around lunchtime? Is it before I go to bed? And slot that in, allot that time because it's just as important as everything else, anyone else, everything else you have going on. This is along the lines of that. And then what you do is you make sure that you're consistent because if you're inconsistent, your self-trust will waver. You will begin to doubt and question yourself and your abilities because you're sending mixed signals. You're telling yourself, oh, I may not. So if you're on the fence about anything, when you're setting your priority, you need to kind of give some waiver in that and say, okay, well, I'm only going to devote once a week to this, or, be very realistic because if you overemphasize the priority and you do not follow through, your self-trust will be diminished. It's not worth doing that. So build smaller steps as needed. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to make it every day. I know I said make it like eating and breathing. Yes, for whatever amount of time you're giving it. So maybe it's once a week. Maybe once a week, you give an hour to whatever it is that you're prioritizing. Make sure that that gets that hour. You are feeding the baby. That's the way I look at it. You have to feed the baby. And so whatever time the baby needs to be fed that you allotted that time for, that's needs to be fed. Whatever it is that's important to you, whether it's, working out, building a business, connecting with other people, whatever it is, it's important to you. So you have to make it a priority. And you will thank yourself down the road because when your self-trust builds, it elevates every part of your life, not just what you're working on, your connections, your friendships, your relationship to money, to your health, everything begins to expand because the level of your self-confidence expands when you trust yourself. And being consistent is the main key in doing that. So thank you for joining me today. Please feel free to ask questions if you have any. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.